Your number one job as a seven-figure CEO is to build the future. Now, why often don't we do that? The reason lies in where we've come from. Through seed stage and startup stage, before you get to the seven-figure mark, planning in the seed stage, I actually think is often detrimental, right? To plan with any level of rigor or depth, because in the seed stage, we're iterating so often, it's almost a dance with market and a dance with consumer, where every piece of feedback that's coming into the business, every single data point, we're moving and flexing and changing the business model to meet consumer demand. And so in seed stage, you don't want a strategic plan. Right? In startup stage, you want to plan, but kind of lightly. When you get to seven figures, you now absolutely have to plan. Your number one role as a founder, CEO of a seven-figure organization is to architect the future. Our number one job as an entrepreneur is make the future real. If you're a seven-figure business owner, you've now got more people in your team. You've got more customers. You might have more media attention. You've certainly got more expenses, right? You've got more suppliers. You might have investors. You might have financiers. Your ecosystem is now much larger. In seed stage, if you wanted to change or turn, you could just turn on a dime. However, it's now a larger ship, and a larger ship requires a captain who's standing at the front of the ship and not only has the instruments in terms of how is the health of the ship, how is the direction of the ship, how is the speed of the ship, right, which is all your dashboards and scoreboards, which we've spoken about in another video, but we also need a captain who's looking ahead, right? Because you are the captain of a much larger ship, your foresight needs to reach further. Please write this down. The larger your business becomes, the further your foresight should reach. The larger the business becomes, the further your foresight should reach. And so these are the 8 core things that you as a founder, CEO of a seven-figure organization need in order to get to 8 figures. Let's go through them one by one. Number 1, vision. What's the vision of this organization? Whether that's a 10-year time horizon, a 7-year time horizon, a 20-year time horizon, doesn't really matter. But when I talk about vision, what I'm talking about is what is the ultimate contribution this business can make, either to the world, to your consumers, to your community, to the environment. I'm not talking philanthropy. I'm not talking we do this, oh, by the way, we donate 5% of profits over here. That's not what I mean when I say contribution-centric vision. What I mean when I say contribution-centric vision is what do you do as a business? You wouldn't be in business, you certainly wouldn't be in seven figures if what you didn't add extreme value to people's lives, right? And so what is that value? How does it improve their lives? Bottle that. If you did that on a large scale over the next 5, 10, 20 years, what impact would that have? Try and bottle and capture that impact into a sentence or less. Build it out over a page or so that people understand the description, but you should be able to summarize it into a sentence or less, which is what difference can this business make? Why is this important? Because it taps into something that's so much more important than your hip pocket, right? Most entrepreneurs, it's like, I want to build a $10 million company, 20 million. It inspires nobody. Most of all yourself, right? Because the pursuit of finance is empty at best and hollow at worst. And it might inspire you for a little bit, but it won't for a very long time. And so vision is about going beyond we're here to make money and go, what can we actually achieve and contribute? How do we do that most effectively and bottle that in your vision? That's the first thing you need, vision. So that's like our North Star. That's our northest star. I just made up a word, right? And that's what everything's going to point to. The second thing we need is mission, right? The second thing we need is mission. Mission is what do we do every day in order to move us toward our vision, right? What do we do every day? And so I'll give you an example of both of those. Here at the Entourage, our vision. If we were to do what we do really, really well for the next 10, 20, 30, this is kind of like a 30, 40-year vision because this is a long-term play for me. Our vision is to push civilization forward by enabling more people to live on purpose. We believe we give entrepreneurs, and we've proven to give entrepreneurs the practical capabilities they need to build not only great businesses, but meaningful lives. Our mission is to give entrepreneurs everything they need to build great companies. So our vision is contribution-centric. It's what we want to achieve over the next 20, 30, 40 years. And our mission is what we can do every day. The third thing you need is a strategy. I like 3 to 5 year time horizons on the strategy. This is where we're going to be 5 years from now. And then you're essentially building a gap analysis, right? You're going, where do we want to be 5 years from now? And this is where you do not forget, but the point of your strategy is really an internal document, okay? So it's not necessarily contribution centric, although you do want to bottle the contribution that you can make over the next 5 years. Like the North Star for your strategy might be we want to be a $100 million company or a $10 million company, or we want to be a national franchise chain, whatever it is. But it can, the ultimate goal in your strategy should be company centric, right? Vision is not company centric. It's what we're contributing. Mission is what we're doing every day to get us toward the vision. Strategy, endpoint in your strategy is like a commercial objective. What's the 5-year commercial objective? $100 million company. Where are we today? $12 million company. Okay, there's a gap. And so if we were to do a gap analysis of everything that we needed to do to get from here to here, what would that be? You want to encompass everything in your strategy from milestones achieved to date. What kind of sales would we need to be doing up here? What would the product mix therefore need to be? How much marketing would we need? How many what sort of audience do we need? How many leads we need to be generating in order to generate those sales? So that's from a marketing perspective. From a product development and delivery perspective, what products would we need to be servicing that? From an operational perspective, how would we need to be operationalizing that to underpin and ensure that we're servicing our customers in a way that's seamless and effective? And then from a financial perspective, does that equate to $100 million if that's your North Star from a strategic perspective? And what kind of margin, most importantly, if it's $100 million revenue? More important than that is what kind of margin you're doing, right? So you might want to be doing $100 million at a 15 to 20% margin, and you want all of those ducks to line up 5 years from now. And then we go, okay, that's the end point. What's the gap analysis to go from here to there? That's strategy. I'll dive into that much deeper in a video coming up. Number 4, fourth thing you need is an operational plan. So we're going vision, 10 years, let's say. Mission, what we're doing every day. Strategy, 5 years. Operational plan, this is 12 months. What are the core operational objectives that you need to achieve and this organization needs to achieve over the next 12 months to move us towards our strategy as best as possible? Break your operational plan into 6 elements: marketing, sales, product development and delivery, operations, financial management, and people, right? That's the 4th thing you need. 5th thing you need: quarterly goals and focuses. We go from our operational plan into, okay, if that's our 12-month operational plan, that's where we need to be 12 months from now. What do we need to achieve in the next 90 days in order to move us towards that as best as possible? 90-day goals, 90-day focuses across the company. That gives rise to the 6th thing that you're going to need, which is our monthly targets, right? If that's our 12-month operational plan, that's our quarterly goals. What do we need to achieve in the next month and the next 3 months in order to progress us towards that? So monthly targets. The 7th thing that falls out of monthly targets is weekly milestones. And what falls out of the milestones for everybody in your organization is today's to-dos. So you can see, guys, from these 8 things, we've gone to vision, mission, strategy, operational plan, quarterly focuses, monthly targets, weekly milestones, today's to-dos. Everything in the organization should line up to the North Star. The North Star from a contribution-centric in vision, and the North Star from a commercial perspective in strategy, right? Here's the thing. You'll never have everything and everyone completely 100% aligned all of the time. Doesn't happen. One of my favorite quotes is a rocket fails its way to the moon. It's never exactly pointed towards the moon, but it will go a little bit that way and then it will correct. And then it'll go a little bit that way and then it will correct. And so rocket fails its way to the moon. But once you've got that architecture, you've now built the future so clearly and done so with any leaders in your business to such a degree that you've made the future real. And this is your number 1 job as a 7-figure CEO.